So, a really good friend of mine had gotten into a car accident. I called him my brother. He got into a really bad car accident and passed in February. And so, we were like super, super close. And one of the things that we had in common was at the Food for Thought, the first Food for Thought that was on a Black Friday. Jimmy had West Side stuff, which is right here. Yes, bless the Lord. And we stood in line. Like, it was this long line because Jimmy kept hyping up the line and hyping up the line. And so I was the first one in, and, well, not, yeah, I was the first one. You know, they cut everybody, but God knows my heart. So we had this long line, and that was like always our thing. Like, every time Jimmy would come out with something, I would always make sure that I would get one for me, one for him. And so it just grew from there. And even after he passed, we still, his sister and I, we still, you know, patronize West Side Society and everything. So this poem is called Sunny Day, and it's a poem for Brody. That's what I call Michi. And to help me out with this, I want you guys to help welcome Rajay back to the stage. She'll be helping me. I don't get to perform this poem often, but one thing that I love about Good Beans is that it has the atmosphere that just makes you just want to share something, you know? So, you ready? I wonder if that's you, chilling in the clouds, sitting at the feet of God, smiling down on us, saying that everything is okay, that the heartache you felt has all gone away, that the tears we cry will all be erased. I can't find the words to say. Nothing comes close to beginning to describe this feeling. I keep thinking this is a dream. Please wake me up now. My heart can't wrap its mind around this nightmare. Tell me that I'm dreaming, that the accident never happened, that you're taking some side streets, that you're still on your way home, or are you already there? Lord, our hearts are broken. The cracks have formed question marks. This hurts, but bro, I will think of you and remember our conversations. I will remember how we talked about the sun, marveling how God could finger paint so intricately. You taught us that in the hour of bereavement there was still time for ministry. I believe the day you left that God sent down the staircase to heaven and invited you up personally. I believe that you danced in the face of death at the sight of the gates and kissed your grandparents. Hello, are you dancing with your grandparents now? I bet you've asked God to turn the stars into a disco ball of diamonds as the three of you dance on golden dance floors. See, my mother raised me to be mindful of how I treat people. She always told me I may be entertaining angels, so Brody, I hope I gave you good company. I hope that heaven was everything you imagined and more, and I hope that you find your mansion with a jar of peanut butter on the nightstand for old time's sake. I pray. Hope that you minister to us through the sunlight, peeking through our windows, telling us that we have a little more time to make a difference, more time to become an inspiration. I'm sure you're in heaven somewhere singing. You've probably turned the sun rays into microphones, a sunny day into music notes. The melody of your memory will always be on repeat in the turntable of our hearts. I just wish that God gave us one more moment, one last time, for one last song. Yeah. Never really an easy one, but you know, you gotta heal and you gotta get through it. And you know, that's what I love about art, not just poetry, but just art in general. It just allows you the opportunity to heal, to grow, to just better yourself. And you know, at some point you have to get better, like voluntarily or involuntarily. Like something or someone is gonna push you to want to grow and want to, or make you. Sometimes you don't want to, but you know, bless the people that make you want to change and everything. So, go liven it up a little bit. Okay, so it's this poem before I perform it. Fire has been asking for this poem, And I hope that fire catches it. If she doesn't, I did my part. But there's this poem I wrote, and it's called Reality Shows. And at the time that I wrote it, there was a bill that was passed that for college students, because I don't keep up with the government, I'll be the first one to tell you I don't. But they passed a bill that really ruined college students in the fact that it put a cap on how much money we could get. It's like, you're here, your degree is up there, but the money we're going to give you is going to stop like right here. And I always had an issue with that. And so I was talking to my mom, and I said, you know what? I feel like I should have been famous like 4 years ago, because then I wouldn't have to deal with college. I could just, you know, blow up, because everybody has a show, and whether you want to see them or not, these reality shows, you catch them, and they're the most stupidest thing. And it's like, you look at that and say, I know my life is far more interesting than what I'm paying. And then it makes you wonder why you're paying cable. Well, that don't make me wonder, because I ain't died. But it makes me wonder why my mom and them is paying cable, because it's never anything good. It's always like horrible. So I said, you know what? If I don't go to school, or if I major in something stupid, because like there are people like Kerry Washington, sometimes I love her, she has a PhD in anthropology, and I'm like, if you didn't get famous, what did you plan to do with that? Stuff that makes you wonder, or like you get these degrees and you still can't find a job, so it's like a revolving circle, or you can't get the job because you need a degree, but you can't get the experience even if you have the degree, and it just makes you wonder, like, what am I going into debt for?
It's a setup.
So my granny asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told her I wanted a sugar mama, because apparently that's the only way my school is gonna get paid for. I'm sitting here like, you know, all I want is an older lady deep in her 70s, like I want her, like, you know, like you gotta be specific with these things. I just need her to be deep in her 70s, no grandkids. I ain't sharing nothing, no grandkids. Preferably with a dead husband, so we get that pension on top of hers. So you can just budget these things, you know. You know, because my pastor said you gotta let God know what you. So you know, you gotta be specific with the Lord. So you know. Yes. I'm sending Obama a tweet to tell him, keep your stimulus package. Let the Republicans have it. Send this summer overseas. Send it to somebody in need. Matter of fact, send it to fund those endless wars that are putting a dent in our economy. And Obama, I know you're really busy, but when you get the time, please check your direct messaging, because I insist that you keep your Pell Grant too. I'm tired of fighting for it to be there, then not knowing if it's there. And honestly, I'm tired of going down to financial aid, not knowing if my FAFSA is there. So I decided you can keep your money. I'm going to drop out the university and transfer to a community college where I will finally fulfill my dreams and major in reality TV. Okay. Yes, you heard me correctly. See, I want to be the next big thing like Paris Hilton, because that's hot. Or have a show like Keisha Cole's Family, only my mother doesn't smoke crack and wear weeds. But it'll be like the same thing. Have a show like Basketball Wives. A whole lot of money but never invest in any values like Kim Kardashian or Terry Crews. Or all those other people who have no careers but their views are through the roof. And Obama, I know you're laughing at me, but I promise you I know what I'm doing, because it's come to my attention that only in America do you get paid to be ignorant. Only in this country do you find stupidity blissful, and I think you've realized this too. That's why you cut the funds to college students and cut the funds to elementary schools and insist that we all go to private schools, knowing good and well that bridge cards won't pay my tuition. That prayer doesn't guarantee you an automatic admission, but none of that seems to bother you. As long as there are jail cells being built when the crime statistics supersede the roof, as long as this country is efficient and ran on 14G, Obama, please. Please take your 11.5 megapixel HTC and TwitPic this topic, retweet it in your memory, reminisce on it when you go to balance out the country's budgeting. Send some money back to the college campuses and elementary schools. Send some money to fund the after-school program so that child you left behind will never be forgotten again. Send some money to the elementary school so my sister can learn to color inside the lines with fresh crayons. Maybe then we can change what we see on TV. Maybe Flavor Flav can retire and we can watch The Cure for HIV, or maybe The Steps to Ending Boy Hunger and Poverty, and maybe instead of keeping up with the Kardashians, we could keep up with the Chinese. Obama recognized this urgency. And when you get all of that done, could you follow me back, please? Okay, so for those of you who know me, or those of you who don't, you will learn. I'm very random. So, the whole financial aid FAFSA part, let me tell you about the University of Mott. So Mott got this thing. If I don't make it in reality TV, I want to work at financial aid at Mott. I don't know if y'all have ever been down to Mott, but I'm about to tell y'all what go down at the financial aid department. No matter who you talk to, they're not there. No matter when you go down. I went to file a paper, and thank God I listened to my mom and made a copy. And you know, it was after hours. They said drop it in the Dropbox. I dropped it in the Dropbox. I went back the next day because I had to, you know, get my classes. That still wasn't processed. I said, well, I dropped the paper. Oh, well, the person who's supposed to do that, they called in sick. So I'm like, so your designated job is to pick stuff up off the floor. Like, don't nobody else see this Dropbox full of stuff. And they was like, oh, I'm like, okay, you know, stupid, but okay. And then I go back to go give them another. See, financial aid as a whole is stupid, because I find out the real U of M does this too. They don't tell you all the stuff you need while you're there. They think that you just got gas to be driving all back and forth and whatnot, to be bringing stuff, and you know, and you can't fax it, because they'll tell you to fax it, but you know, y'all mamas raised y'all better than to believe that if you fax something to some place that's going to give you money, they're not going to read it. They're not going to read it. They're not going to get the person who's over the fax machine department is going to be sick. Mott told me one time, and you know, I can't make this stuff up. This is how stupid it is. Mott told me, what was it? Oh, I was applying for my Pell Grant and a scholarship. Chick said that the lady who do that is pregnant and called in. So I don't know if the baby came or if she just called in. But the paper never got processed, and I had to refill out. Mott will make you redo stuff that you did, and it's like right behind them. So if you got anybody going to Mott, pray over them. Pray over them, pray for them. When you go to church, if you think, while you watching church on TV, shout their name out, because the stuff that go down, and I'm like, I could have a job at Mott, because I'm like, oh, you know what, your loan almost got processed, but the person that did that today, she got the flu. And it's always a she. I ain't never heard of a guy at Mott never show up. Apparently all the guys got perfect attendance. The women always calling in, pregnant, sick. One girl twisted her ankle. I'm like, so y'all don't have backups? Like, who's y'all supervisor, or is she sick too? So yeah, that's that. Yeah, Mott make you question your salvation sometimes. Like, I'm like, Lord. And I gotta go down there tomorrow, Lord. Oh, you know what? Tomorrow is Saturday. I gotta go there Monday.
Close for the holiday.
Are they for real? They might be messing around with Mott. Mott and Flint Community Schools will make you pray. If though nothing else, it will be those two. So anyways, y'all still good? Y'all still good? Okay, all right. You know, giving y'all these little life lessons and tidbits and whatnot, random acts of foolery. So, I'm gonna have Rajay come back up, because I know she wants to get really good and comfortable and whatnot. This poem is called Heaven's Prescription. It's not necessarily new, but it was like written about a month ago, and this is like the second time I performed it, because that's just how I am. So I'm in a relationship and whatnot, and it's like really smooth, like this whole liking somebody else and like falling in love and all of this stuff, you know, stuff I won't admit, like, you know, to people who actually know me, but since y'all can't record, it's my word. But yeah, like, so I'm not gonna give this poem an introduction. I'm just gonna let you. And I started to memorize it, and then I had to, you know, go to work. but you know, God, work will stop you from doing some stuff. I swear. If you leave, my heart's going with you. I won't need it anymore. I'm not confident that it will have a reason to beat without you. Not sure that oxygen would taste the same. If I can't breathe the same air as you, you are my drug. I swear that heaven prescribed me you. And I may have gotten a little heavy-handed with my doses, but I never knew that love came with restrictions, that emotions had side effects, so that you could overdose on love. But girl, just know that I get high off the spaces in between your syllables, and I know that life makes so much sense when I'm with you. Like every jigsaw puzzle piece of life's deepest mystery seems to unfold and unravel at the sound of your voice, or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the way I get lost in the hallways of your eyes, admiring how your pupils reflect a portrait of forever, a masterpiece of music, sketch comedy of angels, a Picasso of love stories. Baby, we are the art of love. The freedom of hearts, the sound of soaring butterflies, no lies. But girl, if you go, I won't wash my heart from your fingerprints. I won't teach it to hate your name, to fade in a coma of memories and the happiness hidden in the depth of your smile. Girl, if you pack your stuff, box my heart with you. Call it love or foolish, I can't tell the difference anymore. Can't tell the difference between your breathing and my heartbeat. I just know I love the sound. I just know I love us now. I love us in the moment of flawed perfection and a sea of awkwardness. I know I love the concept of love, the idea of us and the reality of you. I love you without a rhyme scheme. Because we are more than poetry, more than rhythm and lyrics, more than spilled poetry and blank pages, more than the fine point pens and mechanical pencils. I wrap us in the scent of fresh notebooks. I love you, I swear on God, I love you, and I'm running out of original ways to show you, to teach you how our relationship has become a graffiti wall of emotions and the paint is still fresh. What am I to do with this artistic calypso of us? This collage of broken metaphors. So girl, before you walk out the door, put my heart in your pocket for the ride. I'll learn to live with a hole in my chest since my ribs won't be there to protect it. Take my heart and make it into a souvenir of us, because I would never give another woman another woman's property. I always said one of these days I'm going to actually see what she's doing, because I have never seen what she actually does. I just say, you know what, they clap him, and you know, I have faith in Rajay. And you know, I had a showcase, and I came up with the idea, like, I'm like a real art fanatic. I like graffiti, well, good graffiti, but you know, you gotta be specific sometimes. I like graffiti and just what dancing and art. I just really like art, and so I always appreciate Rajay for what she brings as an individual, but I like having her energy on the same stage, because even though I can't see you, I know it's dope. So, you know, I just love how that works out. So, since we in our feelings and whatnot, well, I say our, and y'all invite y'all to y'all feelings. Y'all can be in y'all feelings if y'all want to. You can't imprison butterflies and expect them to smile. Butterflies in mason jars lose their beauty flying in circles all the time. A blur of repetition, a camouflage of blank pages, a snapshot of poetry held in captivity. Honestly, you can't imprison something you love and still name it beautiful. And there are no restrictions with love. Just a tumbling free fall, a series of honesty, a chain of unpredictable, unpoetic events. See, love was meant to fly beyond limits and skies upon wings, sewn together by the unison of hearts that beatbox across the music of us. And we are not mason jar music or movement. A beautiful predictability, a music box stillness. We are not just this revolving rotation of inanimate hearts putting on a show. We are not meant to be captured and held by you, to be conquered as art. We are more than petty, pretty hearts, more than decoration for your room, accents for your countertops, or conversations for your lonely nights. Butterflies were made for the sky, to kiss the breeze of freedom and daydream along the clouds. No, we don't belong here inside these glass prisons. Behind the transparency of your expectations, beneath the cylinders of your gossip, we were more than intricate wing structure. A trickle of truth, a calligraphy of emotions, a splash of the unexpected. We are breathless. Who loves beautiful in bondage? Who loves the chains and reservations, the ones that prohibit us from fulfilling our wingspan? Who took the butterflies, robbed them of their spark, and left them dim the rims of these mason jars and spilling our poetry and laughing at the lyrics? No, we don't belong here. We are the music of nature. The fault in the stars uncharted, so write our names in the stars. We are history in the making. We are fireflies holding hands in a December sunset, or better yet, we are fireflies holding hands in the sun. Nobody has to see us to validate our existence. Just know that my wings are mason jar crammed, waiting for a breeze to catch flight with you. One thing that I'm learning, as I learn myself. Well, first, one thing that I loved about Tasha as a coach is that, just as a person, Tasha has this thing where she makes you think, and she makes you, she challenges yourself to be real with yourself, because it's easy to get up. When I first started doing poetry, I would talk about everything but me, and then I got Brave New Voices, and I remember a few rehearsals. Now, I was always the good one out the group and whatnot. Don't smack your lips. This is my set. I'm gonna lie how I want to. So I was always the good one in the group, but there were a few pieces where Tasha would challenge me to go deeper and to just explore the different realms of myself, so to speak. And then Tasha would, Tasha is always politically correct as possible. Like Tasha is always, and then you have Mac, who will come in, and it's like Tasha's all, Democratic, and this Republican just come through, right, and just say everything that Tasha meant to say, just without the political correctness. And so that definitely helped with a lot of poems that I've done. One of them, well, no, not that one, but this one that I'm getting ready to perform, the name of it is called Fear of Flying, and it's just with love. Well, for fellas, this poem is for us. Like, you know how you fall for somebody, it doesn't work out, so now you just act like, love just doesn't exist. Or, with what I've learned from Tasha and with everybody else who's made a contribution to my growth, I just wanted to be transparent, like even with my own son, because I know one day I'm going to have kids, and I have to explain to him, just because you fall in love don't mean you're going to stay there. Sometimes you got to get up. Sometimes, well, maybe not like that. That's the earnest coming out of me. Hold on. Sometimes things don't work out and people go different ways, but, sometimes you gotta get up. Sometimes it just don't work. And with my current relationship, I realized I had to get over my past in order to have a successful attempt at a happy future. So, when I finally get over you, I might Christopher Columbus my way into happiness. Might sail my way into a smile and plant a flag in the root of my sanity. You see, one day, when I'm strong enough to get over you, I'll stop beating my heart up for its decisions. I'll stop mending the bruises by turning your name into a bedtime story. And I will quit falling for women who remind me of you in hopes of reliving the dreams of our wedding day. You see, one day, I'll have a son, and I'll tell him all about you. And I'll tell him, don't be afraid to fall in love because of a fear of flying. That gravity and love cannot coexist. It's just easier for your heart to soar more freely without the extra weight. Honestly, true love is worth the wait, but do not hold your breath. Because the first heartache makes it so much harder to exhale, but still, Don't be hesitant to find a hand that's compatible with yours. Don't be ashamed to write love poems for the girls that make you smile from your soul and puts the life back into your ribcage. Understand that no matter how tough you act, there will always be a woman soft enough to pull out the cake in you. I'll tell them the truth. That time heals all wounds, but the memories never fade. And some dates on the calendar are more than just days. There are treasures hidden inside the ink line. Sometimes the first kiss is poetry for the lips. The best love songs are the ones that you write with tongues and engrave in taste buds, so when you sing them, your words will be sweeter. See, if my son is anything like me, I'll tell him, you will find yourself in your heart more than you find yourself breathing. That's okay, to a degree. If my son seems reluctant to fall in love out of the fear of being a puppet and made into a fool, I will express to him that I am no stranger to the strings. That the woman I thought would marry ended up being a life lesson and an eternity of love poems. Your first love is hardly ever the one you find forever with, but don't quit trying. Love is a balancing act. You just have to find somebody willing and capable to walk the tightrope with you. So when my son asks me for advice on love, I will offer him the advice my father never gave me. I will look him in his eyes and remember me at his age. Remember me spitting a poem about you in front of an audience of strangers when all I wanted was the attention of your heart. I will look at my son and remember me, remembering you. Remember me, forgetting to stop remembering you. Remember me and you and love and poetry and lyrics. I will look at my son and I'll say, son, sometimes the key to conquering your fear of flying is simply to fall. So while this West Side hoodie is extremely comfortable, and I do advise that y'all get one when they come back out, but the way it did hot up here set up, it'll definitely keep you warm when it's like, you know, 0.2 degrees outside in Michigan, you know, bless the Lord. 2 more pieces and I'm out your way. Is that cool? Okay. This poem came from Brave New Voices on the way back. This didn't make it to the competition, but the second year I was an assistant coach, and I coached with Key Ray, and it was definitely a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, and I don't write personal poems too often, but.
Celebrate our Freedom Day.
Juneteenth, a time to reflect and rejoice. Join the village. Celebrate African American Independence Day.
This piece is called Definition of a Man, and I made sure Tasha heard it first because I kept working on it. Like, I would never talk about my dad or like in any of that. It's like, I have one, I'm here, my my name is Jay. You know, it's like, but taking a different approach, and again, just finding out who I am as a person. So Mic check, mind, sweat, pain, sweat. Am I a man yet? Have I finally been through puberty enough times successfully for the title to be given to me? Do I finally meet your expectations, fit perfectly into your guidelines for biased masculinity? Do you finally accept me? Please, let me know if I'm doing this right. I've never had to be strong before. Never had any example to go by. Do I have your attention yet? Are you finally watching? Are you looking at me? Look, I finally managed to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders while pain leaks out in crocodile tears. I'm new to this. Pardon my ignorance, but Google couldn't teach me to be a man. More than pride and anatomy, more than brash and arrogance, checklist, ego, check, cocky, check, swag, check, mic check, pain, sweat. Is my daddy here yet? Did James Price finally decide to become a parent and come tend to his seed? Show me what a man's supposed to be. Carve my backbone, straighten my masculinity before I'm shaped by society. Dad, I'm losing sight on who I am. Not sure who I was meant to be. I keep looking for love in all the wrong places since I couldn't find it in you. I used to fall in love. Now I just linger in curiosity. Scared that this thing may not be as real as it seems. Scared that I may wake up and all of this is some shattered dream. Dad, do you even remember how to spell my name? Were you aware that we shared the same initials? I tatted them, hoping to feel like a part of you. We lived in the same city, but I managed to feel apart from you. We became strangers, and my mama always taught me, don't ever talk to strangers. Even if this stranger pulls up next to you with his nice car, financed with missing child support payments, and tries to hand you your future through rolled windows, or even if this stranger is a walking time capsule of baby pictures and dreams, breathing still shouts of the puberty I face in the mirror each morning, and even if this stranger and I have a twin set of smiles and the same DNA in our veins, there's no room in his heart for me. I had a stranger for a father. Mr. No Good, Mr. One Night Stand, Mr. Hit It and Quit It, but was never heard from again. I needed you. Teach me how to fix cabinets and change brakes. Show me the rules of the game. Watch me grow to become the man I'm supposed to be. Dad, I regret the fact that you died without ever hearing me tell you I love you. That you checked out of life without making appointments to be in mine. And I promised my reflection I would learn to love its image someday. No matter how much the portrait resembles you. Mic check, pain, sweat. Am I finally a man yet? Shout out to Theory. And yeah, so you get over it. Well, not really. Like I'm still learning to heal from it, I should say. It's definitely a process without making it one of those sad, because it hits you as you get older. Because my mom made sure she stood in the gap. She did a really great job. I have to give my mom props. She did a great job. But you know, sometimes you need your dad's side. Like I drive past the cemetery he's buried at all the time, and like every now and then I actually show up, you know, talk to him. You know, he can't talk back, but you know, kind of the dynamics of our life. You know, it's always been like that. But you heal, and you grow from that place. So I'm gonna leave y'all on a high note. Key Ray has been asking for this poem. What is this, November? Crystal has been asking for this poem since May. So, and you know, Vontae actually asked for this poem in July.
I wasn't here in July.
You weren't? What month? Okay, well, you know what? I know my heart. August. Hey, what's it? Okay. Anyways, I haven't performed this in a while, but because it's Key Ray's show, every now and then I'll do favors. So she keeps talking about it. She keeps talking about it. Drew asked about it, and I kept saying that the poem was retired. Since I was like, y'all and whatnot. We like peace. You know what I'm saying? Tell me all my business and about Mott and everything. And so, this poem was written for, it was a period of time a few years ago. This poem was written for dudes who said that they were real niggas, and just so they could hear how stupid they sound, and then for all the females who said they wanted a real nigga. This was. I can't with y'all. This is the poem to like let them know how they feel. Jesus be a prince. Hey, yo, ladies.
Yes.
Going to leave your man at home because what you really want is a nigga named Roscoe, and I know you over there thinking, oh my goodness, how I end up with a brother so good and a nigga so fly? And I'm sitting here like, girl, you right. So go and let your guard down and come and meet my niggas in them, and let my niggas meet your friends, then me and you, we can discuss getting it in. And baby, I want to get to know you intellectually. That way it makes it a lot easier for me to redefine your standards, lower your expectations, and raise your credit. But wait, I do got potential. See, I'm going to be a rapper one day. And I'm going to spit you bars like, girl, me and you, we could live in the limelight. You could be my girl, but you could never really be my wife. Now you could be my sideline and never meet my other chick. I'm going to call you baby, and you could be my main chick. Because I promise not to call you out your name or ever disrespect you. Long as you don't get disrespectful, make me forget your name. But baby, it's cool. Because what you really need is a thug in your life. And I'm the last of a dying breed. Pound, team, real nigga. Retweet this if you agree. Baby, I'm that real nigga that run and grab my Glock and pop any nigga who wants to get shot and get popped type nigga. Real nigga like run to defend my boys because they're the truth. Real ride or die type nigga. Strong enough to pull a trigger but lack the emotion to be a good father figure. Baby, why don't you want me? I got that hurricane tongue and magic stick. You can ride it backwards with no hands, then I'll dip when you get pregnant and add your name to a list of chicks who already got my kids. And please, don't expect no child support check out of me. Because raising kids ain't in my genes, but if you bow down and say, please, I'll show you what it is, shawty, what you tripping for? You said you wanted a nigga, not the brother at the door. Man, shirts and ties ain't a style no more. And I got to education, I got potential. It's just potentially wrapped up in your genes. So when you let go, I can unleash, boo. You never said you wanted a man who values and respects you, nah. Nah, see, you said you wanted a dog who treats you like a piece of meat and never passes up the opportunity to chew, boo. You wanted a boy in man's clothing. That's why my jeans don't fit. That's why my clothes so loose. That's why I do what I do, so boo. Every time you leave your man at home, just know you got Roscoe, Ramon, Perkins, Jenkins, Johnson's Jr.'s arms for you to always run into. And before I forget, what you think about me and you dipping out of here headed to my mama's crib, shawty? Thank you so much.
Everybody give it up for Project one more time. Alright, for those of you who said this was y'all first time coming to a poetry event, will y'all ever come back again to another one? Alright, that's good, that's good. Alright. We're coming to a close, to an end. Finally, we have one more person, which is the person who has put on this show, none other than Key-Ray. First time I ever seen her do poetry, it was years ago, and she was like this little tiny little girl that was up there. Like, what? Can you speak up? But I'm gonna tell you something about it. Even though you couldn't hear what she was saying, this young lady, this little girl is like she's so small, but she's housed with so much wisdom, and like her intellectual capacity is just like, it's awesome. And her name, I know y'all probably wondering like Key-Ray. Her real name is Crystal, and I actually just found out where her stage name came from. Her and Quinn, or Eat the Real, they was having a conversation on Facebook back in 2009. Just before she even started doing poetry. And this when she was back, she was into Japanese cartoons and writing and stuff like that. And so she had her name on it. It said Key-Ray She. Key-Ray, which means beautiful, and she is poetry. And so, you know, she was telling Quentin or Ethereal, like, I don't have a stage name. I'm not into poetry like that. So he was like, all right, before I start my poetry collective, I'm gonna give you a stage name. And it's gonna be what your Japanese name is, beautiful. Beautiful poetry, and they just shorten it since she's short, you know, instead of beautiful poetry. It's Key-Ray, beautiful. So that's where Key-Ray came from. So without further ado, y'all give it up for the latest person of tonight. It's going to be none other than Miss Key-Ray, who's going to come to y'all. She's so little right here.
Okay, I'm going to use the mic because it's my show and I can kind of do what I want.
That's right.
Alright, so I'm going to read this first one off my phone because I wrote it 7 hours and 10 minutes ago. So it's really, really new. Alright, you told me I loved too hard. And I told you my heart is an ocean cracked open, mistaking my chest for a distant shore. My kind of love only knows overflow. Lives in a limitless existence, is pure, and its best intentions is endless. My love will traverse an eternity to save you if you let me. You told me I loved like tsunamis, and I asked why you were so afraid that my love is too big a wave for you to handle. Maybe you've never been taught how to ballroom dance on ocean, just so afraid of the overtaking. Convinced yourself that love feels like crashing, like drowning, like being submerged without saving, like waiting for the calm to cease. But please stop being afraid of the water. I only know how to love like water, like sustainability and survival, like washing away all the damage your past lovers have done if you let me. But I know you tend to fall in love with hurricanes, become the eye of a constant storm, so peace feels more foreign than home. But don't you know that we all come from water, and you, my love, were not born of chaos. We are only disastrous by choice. Your love is an ocean cracked open, mistaking your heart for a distant shore. Your love longs to be limitless in its existence if you let it. You told me I love like oceans. I told you I teach you how to swim. I told you a calm is coming. I'm tired of watching you wait to be destroyed by that which is designed to make you whole. You told me I love hard like crashing waves. And I said, if you just trust me, we can create miracles and walk on these waters together. This next poem is reasons I will never date you, or 12 things that I want to say to the last man who asked for my number. 1. I refuse to be intimate with anyone who reeks of misogyny. Your scent is a mixture of Axe body spray and the spread legs of ex-girlfriends, desperate attempts to cleanse themselves because you called them dirty after sex. 2. You believe the female body is yours to possess. This savior complex, convincing yourself that I should be bowing before your penis because an erection is the only way I'll ever know I'm beautiful. 3, you call me beautiful and baby and hey you and hey ma and hey girl, like my name isn't crystal, like the weight of 2 syllables of forced your tongue is split in half from attempting to carry my truth. You shorten my identity so often, you've forgotten how to properly address me, so I'll teach you how to say my name. 4, my sister taught me to call everything by its right name. So, your behavior is sexist. Your desire to turn my body open to condemn it for being broken is misogyny. Your belief that you can tell me anything about being a woman is misguided. And your attempts to objectify me obviously stem from some type of mommy issues. But 5, I don't really give a shit about your mommy issues. 6, if I ever approached you the way you did me, you label me a whore. If I catcalled you in the streets, grabbed my vagina, trying to introduce you to all my friends so we could pass you through the group. If you rejected me, and I called you bastard, told you you weren't attractive anyway, if you accepted me, and I told you I only wanted sex, and if you weren't willing to spread your legs, then you would risk losing me. If I ever approached you the way you did me, you label me a whore. 7, you call me whore when I tell you yes. 7, you call me bitch when I tell you no. 7, I'm a woman 100% of the time, whether you choose to respect me or not. And 8, your respect for me should never be based on what I'm wearing. So you hiss at the woman in the short skirt, then make your way to the strip club. Chastised ladies taking photos in lingerie unless they're sending them to you and you. No one ever told you that you lack self-esteem for walking around shirtless in boxes that even nude. See, your nakedness is never seen as obscene, which must be the reason you think it's okay to send pictures of your penis to me. And 9, for the record, women as a whole have never reached the consensus that dick pics were ever attractive. I personally think they're kind of disgusting, and I think you'd be just as gross if you weren't even attached to yours. 10, I have a right to tell you no, and my no isn't meant to make you feel good. It's here for stroking your ego. It's meant to be bloody and red. It's meant to make you leave me alone. 11, after this poem, you'll call me bitter. Tell me that I'm the spawn of several failed relationships, that my anger stems from issues with my father, that I'm trying to prove I'm a strong black woman who doesn't need a man. 12, you are not a man. Trying to take on this woman in this world with something to prove, trying to prove women to be second best as if you've forgotten whose womb you come from. See, as a woman, I was taught to make my body a home for you, but I will not shelter your sexism. And I thank God for the men who don't possess your traits, who are just as tired of men like you as I am, who understand who I am, and who have no problem respecting that. That's one of my favorite poems to do. I get to cuss a lot. I like to swear on stage. I like to swear on stage. Okay, this next poem is actually the first poem that I wrote this year. So, I think it's one of J. Clo's favorites and one of Rajay's. And when I actually posted it on Facebook, Candace immediately reposted it like, oh my God, I'm in love. So I'm doing this poem. Yay! When you find her bobby pins in your bed, remind yourself that everything has a... When you find her bobby pins in your bed, remind yourself that everything has a season in which it is allowed to spiral out of control, like your relationship, like her curls. Her hair was a mess of kinks, reasons you remember to love yourself daily. You would often find your fingers tangled in the journey of her womanhood. No one ever danced in her waves the way you did. Now, silence is hidden beneath you in silk and white sheets, a graveyard of agonizing discomfort. I understand why you don't sleep in your bed anymore. I haven't slept in mine in weeks. The ghosts of my past loves lie there still, hapless scarecrows, mouths ripped open, desperate to stop suffocation. Too often, we mistake love for something meant to take our breath away. I don't have the heart to tell my past loves that they're dead. They do not wish to be disturbed. They are all the things that I am afraid of. They lie, waiting spiders on the edge of my bathroom sink, crawl, black wiry legs matted into my hair. I am compressed into myself, pretending not to collapse, with pinned insecurities waiting to fall like loose curls on bare shoulders, so I can cascade into the arms of someone who finds it hard to leave bed every morning because the scent of me on their pillowcase is too sweet. Someone who wants to unravel the corkscrew of my spine, presses their fingers into the curve of my back, tells me I'm not the disaster I once was. You found my bobby pins in your bed. Called to let me know there are pieces of me still left there. You aren't sure whether to label them trash or treasure. I can't give you an answer. How do I tell you how to handle me properly? I am a jigsaw puzzle of a woman, a mess of beautiful imperfection. I want to tell you to retrace your path and my roots. Remember to love yourself daily. Offer my spine as a souvenir. Leave a memento, a mess of my spiraling kinks. She will find my bobby pins in your bed tonight. Ask you where you got them. Say nothing. Place the memory of me on your tongue and then swallow it whole. Do not form your lips to lie. And the next time you lie with her, do not search for the scent of my curls in her hair. Thank you. Okay, my lineup is on my phone, so forgive me. This is another one where I swear. I'm just saying it because my aunt is here, and you know, I don't ever cuss in the house, so thank you. All right. I love you all. Okay. Pretty is white sheets and black windows. blacked out windows, black bodies in the backs of cars that have forgotten what it means to be loved. Beautiful is wiping lipstick off collars and promising not to leave hickeys. It's knowing your place. It's knowing that your body is a temple and the soul you share it with isn't even worthy of sweeping the floors, but you let them in anyway. Sexy is wrapping yourself in someone else's misfortune on a night when your soulmate is a distant star, so you settle for a lover on earth. Sexy is a word my tongue will never say properly. Gorgeous is a noose of pearl necklaces. A wallet on the nightstand that doesn't belong to you. A room you remember waking up in but forgetting how you got there. And gorgeous is the way you pretend to forget. It is entangling your hair in the fingers of someone who can't stand the taste of your name, who spent all night calling you pretty and beautiful and sexy and gorgeous, and you gorged on these words. Because the moment they left you, you would be alone with the sound of your identity echoing in an empty room, foreign enough to forget, pieces of you left in the palms of a stranger who can't hold the heaviness of your heart properly. See, you were only property in passing. Only held when you don't hold yourself accountable, only fuck because it sounds like love when you say it just right. There are men who don't know the difference between sex and making love. I've dated at least 3. There are women who don't know the difference between sex and making love, and I had become one who answered to pretty and beautiful and gorgeous anytime I invited anyone inside, anything to avoid rather than bed sheets alone that night. Don't judge me is a phrase I'm far too comfortable saying. Attempts to protect myself from eyes that roam farther and longer than fingers, lingering glances that label me bare and passing, average and adequate instead of golden, instead of goddess. My body is a temple and you aren't even worthy of sweeping the floors, but I let you in anyway. As if we aren't tired of dancing the same merengue each midnight. You can't say you love me, but are quick to make me your graveyard. Remind me how good it feels to leave your brokenness inside me. You just need some place for your emptiness to die, and my body is what it calls home. But intimacy is the way we pretend not to know this. It is entangling our spirits when we can't stand the taste of each other's names. But moments like these are beautiful. It's beautiful as wiping lipstick off collars and promising not to leave hickeys. We know our place. Our bodies, our temples, and the souls we share them with aren't even worthy of sweeping the floors, but we understand that sexy is just letting them in anyway. Okay, I have 3 more poems, and I'm going to read this one too because I had finals this week, and passing my finals is more important than memorizing poems. By the way, I just found out while J. Cole was performing, I was checking my grades online, and I made the dean's list. And I graduated in May, so I'm going to have a really huge show in May. Okay, alright.
Won't he do it?
Yes, he will. And I really had to pray this semester, y'all, because I had this one professor I cannot stand. Oh, see, we're not even going, Bridget, we right here. We right here. We're not going to go there. We're going to keep it positive tonight. All right. Good energy, good vibes. Okay. Jesus. All right. Okay, this poem is not titled, so I'm just going to read it. My body aches to recognize its own existence, craves examination, needs wandering eyes, hands that don't belong, fingers with contaminated prints, nails too dull to deepen scars. She needs a drifting impression, temporary scratches, inconsistent pains. Remember what feeling is. She screams masochistic. Marks become monuments, cryptic calligraphy buried into her skin, fading altars where she learns to find God and discovers he hasn't left her for dead. She once believed she was corpse in dire need of excavation, mistook affection for autopsy. All she knows is empty, is intrusion, is this foreign way of feeling alive. A dead body isn't supposed to recognize contamination, caressing her thighs, ripping open her chest, removing all the parts she once owned. She just wants to possess herself again. A funeral procession is traveling through her rib cage, but she must remember that breathing is not an elegy. My body is a woman who often can't recall her own name. Sometimes she forgets she exists, and until she learns to believe her own senses, these strangers' wandering hands remind her that she's still here. 2 more poems. This one I think I wrote about this time last year. And I don't really want to introduce it, I'm just going to kind of perform it because it speaks for itself. Yeah. But tonight has been about healing, and I think that we all need that, so bear with me while I heal. My father put a knife on me the last time we spoke. In return, I handed him the remains of my heart ashes in a box of out-of-tune lullabies. They sound like screams of life lessons I never grasped. Like how it's my fault that he only sees his reflection in rocks and powder, how I am a constant reminder of his greatest mistake. I was the blunt, laced with LSD and a hit of creation, a hit of responsibility lying somewhere. But from the day I came into this world 4 months too early, and the last 4 hours he spent with me. I am his daughter, holding family reunions and boxing rings as darkness slips further from the background where women lie on their backs, tarnished from the triggers of their men's egos. My father is dangerous. Those recitations and rhetoric from my childhood, staring through hourglass figures he found himself desperately trying to find himself in. Women transformed into stepladders and Ciroc bottles, both responsible for his downfall. He is a minstrel show of the father who learned to overdose his own. See, he's been known to own his pain. The men in my family have swords to replace the spines in their backs. They carve caricatures into the women they carry. They mold into figurines. The women in my family are porcelain and perfect. Promise to be silent because pain is the diamond on a wedding ring. So we learn to bite the bullet beneath the frosting, take the knife and carve our children from our womb just to continue a cycle. I am a sacrifice, tired of throwing ashes into flames and wondering why I continue to be burned alive. My family is a stake that I've tied myself to just to keep peace. My father has words of gasoline and a match for a tongue. My heart was paper mache the day I was born. I guess God was still trying to mold me. But maybe even he forgot that I am only human. So if my father says he doesn't love me, those words still seep into my memory. So he said that he doesn't care if he ever walks me down the aisle as he's any of my children. So he can't marry me to a man who doesn't love me because I know the signs before laying daddy issues at an altar to receive a new name. And he won't rip generations from my womb because they will find safety within me. My children will be born of a phoenix. They will know something beautiful always grows from cinder. I am the center of chaos and cold with bloodshed as my birthright. My father showed me that some people are born with hearts like wildfires. They can't help but to destroy everything that lies in their path. But I refuse to be anyone's catastrophe. Now that we're all in our feelings and feeling all sad and stuff, this is my last poem for the night. I want to thank you guys, before I do, I want to thank you guys for coming. This is greater and more amazing than I could have ever expected. The fact that there's really like no NDC tear is mind-blowing. And I'm not going to cry on stage. I'm going to cry when I get home. I'm going to just cry all night. I am. But really, thank you so much. This poem is about self-love. Sapphire actually inspired it when she did her full figure poem. I love her dearly, and she inspired me to write a poem about me loving myself, so. And I also swear on this one too.
You better say please.
It's only one time, and it's, yeah, okay. This world ain't got much for skinny girls. Got mothers telling you that childbirth is impossible, but don't let that stop you from having 4 babies. Got grandmas questioning how deep your melanin runs. Maybe somebody on her daddy's side ain't black, maybe that's where she get it from or doesn't get it from. Got friends telling you you're lucky. You can eat whatever you want. Got doctors telling you diabetes and high blood pressure runs in your family. Got family telling you not to push away those plates piled high with hot food and seasoned with guilt trips. Stop watching me eat. I hate that shit. Because it's not that I'm selfish or lazy or spoiled or ungrateful for your hard work. It's just not worth watching you stare at my fork. Each time I lift it to my lips, your disdain makes meals much harder to digest. But I guess you aren't stripped bare before your mirror wondering how God got it all mixed up. Yeah, you're feminine enough but no curves in all the right places, chanting, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, to your reflection until you both believe in society ain't got much for skinny black girls turned skinny black women. Turned size 0 jeans, turned 32 B cup, turned 81 pounds on a good day, turned half these stores, got nothing in my size, got women staring up and down my lack of thighs telling me I think I'm better than them. Got men telling me they need something soft to hold on to. Well, I'm sorry that all the wrong parts of me are soft. That fondling my heart don't sound so attractive. Believe me, it doesn't feel good either. You can't grasp hold of its beating, keep its rhythm. My hips and heart won't twerk for you. My spirit is not something to put on parade, slip into push-up bra, slide into corset. My soul's too thick to be handled by someone who only wants to grasp the tangible. Skinny girls become turntables too often. Makeshift DJs, we mix and master our bodies, wreck our self-image with one too many glances in our mirror. Society has too many of us, willing to stretch ourselves too far to fit into a frame we simply weren't built for. So I choose to move forward, stand tall at 4'9" without the heels, size 0 jeans and 81 pounds on my best stage, chanting, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made to my reflection because now we both believe it. Society doesn't need to have anything for me. I have finally learned to be more than enough for myself. Let the host come up here and do their host stuff, because that's not me.
Give it up to Key-Ray. Yeah, stand up for him. We're gonna make you cry for real. We love you, girl.
She gonna cry in the car.
She don't stop. I'm gonna make her cry. Don't make her cry right now. Let's make her cry.
No, I don't want to make her cry. I do want to say, shout out to Good Beans Cafe. And everybody who bought coffee and muffins, you are awesome. Shout out to Brave New Voices. Westside Society. Raise It Up Youth Arts Awareness. What?
Just talk.
Oh, the Mama Hatcher at the door. Shout out to Prodigy and Key-Ray.
Yeah.
All the artists that came up here tonight. And last but not least, I'm talking, I mean, y'all been watching these people all night long, you feel me? And they have been the best anybody could ever ask for. Give it up for the audience one time.
Shout out to the host one time.
Yeah, shout out to the host. Again, don't stop hashtagging These Words Live, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If this your first time and you don't have social media, I suggest you get some for the next go round.
Grandmama's got social media these days. Everybody here better have social media.
I can't deal. We had some first timers in here. Did you enjoy yourself? Yeah. It was cool. We got another show coming up on Tuesday, on the 23rd at 7 p.m. At the Greater Flint Arts Council, downtown Flint, next to Hello Burger. How much? How much?
$5.
Only $5.
What's wrong with you?
$5.
This for y'all.
$5. Go down, have some. You got something to do on Tuesday.
It's an open mic.
Am I
too.
forgetting anything? Good. Y'all ain't gotta go home, but you gotta go.
All Black America come together for Juneteenth, celebrate our Freedom Day. Down the bum, sitting down to the bum, beat it to the moon. Celebrate June 19th. It's Freedom
Juneteenth, a time to reflect and rejoice. Join the village. Celebrate African American Independence Day.